Okay, hi everyone. While you're having lunch, we'll do a quick presentation. My name is Sarah Khan. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for the Ontario region. I'm going to quickly cover about our patient education programs and services. So to start off with, we'll do some basic stats. Every 23 minutes, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer in Canada. There's approximately 138,100 individuals living with a blood cancer in Canada, and every year there's about 22,000 new cases of leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma. So it is a significant public health concern to us. Out of all the different blood cancers, lymphoma is the most common, with approximately 40% of new blood cancer diagnoses being lymphoma diagnoses. The other main forms are leukemia and myeloma. In children, sadly, 42% of all cancers are a type of blood cancer. And this gives you kind of the breakdown by blood cancers and the average age of onset. So generally, it appears more in a senior population, with the exception of Hodgkin's lymphoma, which presents the average age of 39. And as you can see for CLL, the average age is 71 years old. So here at the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, our mission is to cure blood cancers and improve the quality of life for patients and their families. So how we differ is we support all 137 different types of blood cancers. We are heavily invested into research, supporting $4.2 million last year. We support families, as mentioned, and then we provide patient education and support. So this support is provided throughout your cancer journey. It could be at diagnosis, it could be at treatment, and we're now working on survivorship. So we're actually creating Life After Cancer program series next year, having conferences, and having more resources in that space. We fund the most promising blood cancer research, where we funded about 41 research grants last year. And these research milestones have been very significant. So if you look back 50 years ago, having a blood cancer diagnosis was actually devastating, and there weren't many treatment options. If you fast forward to the 2000s, we now have targeted therapies, immunotherapy, CAR-T, stem cell, a lot of what you heard today. And the significance with this is that the LLSC has been behind funding some of these breakthroughs, and LLS as well. So we are here to help you. We certainly provide a lot of support and services to patients, families, and caregivers. We have information available online, in person, over the phone. It is all free. A lot of our information also comes from the Leukemia Lymphoma Society in the US, which is one of our affiliates. So some of our materials you'll see in your package today is actually from the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Some of it's from us, and we work collectively together. In my role, I'm a patient educator and connecting individuals to the best available resources in the community. At no point am I commenting on your medical diagnosis or treatments, but instead connecting you to our information services or community supports. So one of our resources, and probably our best resource to share with you, is the Information Resource Center. This is housed by oncology experts. It's basically a call center, and when you call in, you're connected to either a social worker, a nurse educator, or a health educator that's trained specifically in blood cancers and providing support. So the support that they would provide you is more focused on diagnosis, treatments, or questions, or helping pull together research if you were interested on specific research. One of the neat services that they have is a free registered dietitian that provides nutritional counseling. They also have language line support, so if anybody needed translation services, that's very accessible to you. And then they have the Clinical Trial Support Center. So if we've heard a lot about clinical trials, if you're interested in finding out what clinical trials are available, how you could enroll in one, what is one, there'd be a nurse educator that would help you find that information. However, all of that does have to be done in consent with your healthcare provider. So this is a great service. We also have the First Connection program. This is our peer-to-peer support program. So if you're newly diagnosed and you're looking to speak to someone that's gone through this particular type of treatment, it could be a stage that you're at, maybe it's watch and wait, and you want to hear their perspective, we help match those individuals. We obviously match by blood cancer type, where we can by age and location, and this is really a form of emotional support. So I put in, there's palm cards in your package, and if you're interested, certainly connect with us. We have our online knowledge center, so there's a wealth of information here. It's accessible in a variety of formats. It's in audio, video, web, you can download, and you can even order our materials if you wanted. Lastly, most recently, we've come out with kidsgetbloodcancers.ca, so I thought it'd be important to share some pediatric resources. Although it may not be specific to your type, it certainly helps explain what cancer is to children. So there are some resources specific to that. One thing I really want everyone to take note of is we do research webcasts, and the next one happens to be on CLL. So it's on November 27th at 6 p.m. Even if you don't watch this live and you go ahead and register for it, we will email you the webcast afterwards. So it's really important that you get a chance to register for this, and Dr. Versha Banerjee from Manitoba is presenting. And our next patient education event is in April at Gilda's Club in Toronto. So there was a lot of discussion today about oncology drug navigation. There's actually a drug access navigator by the name of Alan Birch that will be coming and presenting for us, and he'll go through the different streams of funding and what your options are, either through Cancer Care Ontario, maybe your patient support programs through pharma or private health insurance. So get in touch with me, because I think the registration isn't up for this just yet, and we'd love to have you there. And then I'm going to invite Netta to come up and speak a little bit about our research and light the night.
Great, thanks, Sarah. Yeah. Is this good? Yep. I'm happy to flip through, so just let me know what you want me to move to. So, yeah, thank you again so much for being here. It's always a great opportunity for us to do these events, and it's amazing that the scientists were so clear in stating one of their biggest challenges, which is funding. So I know there's a bit of interest, so I'm going to maybe present a few options to you, and then we'll open up the floor to questions, whether you have questions about our support services or about fundraising. We can answer, we'll try our best to answer everything. So if you are interested in making a contribution or, rallying your community and your network together to raise funds, we really do encourage you to do that. There's a few ways you can direct your gift. If, based on Dr. Andrew Spanner's or Dr. Bharat's presentation, you'd like to make a contribution to their work, the best advice I can give you is to call the hospital's foundation and to ask them what the funding needs and priorities are for their work. The physicians work closely with the foundation to outline what their needs are, whether it's general funds, whether it's to fund certain whether it's some of their materials in their labs, whether it's infrastructure, they often are working together to identify those needs. So I can't speak to what their funding needs are within their foundations, but I encourage you to call Sunnybrook's Foundation and say, what is Dr. Andrews' needs right now, and how much would make a meaningful contribution to his work. The other option is to support the Leukemia Lymphoma Society of Canada. So that is our organization. Sarah just mentioned that last year we funded $4.2 million worth of research. That is one of the best years we've had yet, and our foundation continues to grow our support of scientists each year. Currently, we are funding over 40 scientists who are spread out across the blood cancers. We have, I believe, 3 scientists who are working specifically on CLL, and a few who are working on redeveloping drugs that can be used for CLL as well. Are on our website, and we can circulate that to anybody who's interested. We have all of our 2019 funded scientists, and you can read a little bit about who they are and inquire about them if you'd like. And I'll also just sort of highlight that a unique element of why you might consider supporting us is that it's not me or our board of directors that selects who we fund. We have a scientific review panel that is made up of the experts in the field. They have an understanding of what drugs are being developed, what therapies are being prescribed, how close we are to cures in certain diagnoses versus others. And based on that, they vet the applicants that we have and select an area where we feel we can have the most impact. So we are truly making the smartest investments into what early stage drugs have a lot of potential. How close are they? What is their research strategy? How many people are working on their research, right? So de-risking any potential risks to the work that they're doing. What are the metrics to which they're going to report back to us? So, it's a pretty involved process, and it is a great way to make sure that your dollars are going towards the best work. So I also want to talk about a few events that you can participate in, both from the perspective of the community you'd be a part of and the impact you could raise. One of our flagship events is called Light the Night. We actually have 12 walks across Canada. Toronto's walk is one of the largest. The walk just happened in Toronto on October 17th. These 12 walks across Canada bring together 35,000 people who are either a patient, a care partner, they're healthcare practitioners, our scientists come out to these events, and it is without bias, and I know I have a bias, but it is truly one of the most magical events I've ever seen. To see strangers in a city like Toronto embrace each other and to let each other know they're not alone, it's quite spectacular. And not to mention that these walks across Canada last year raised $6.5 million. So it is a beautiful way to get your loved ones to be a part of this journey with you. And if you don't live in Toronto and you're interested in doing a smaller, more intimate walk in your city, we have an amazing team in Toronto who can help you with that. So that's sort of my spiel about fundraising. So from here, maybe we'll open up to questions that you might have, and Sarah and I will do our best to answer what we can.